Hey guys, Muffin Lord here. So before we start the video, here's a disclaimer. Do not harass anyone mentioned in this video, alright? Don't do that. That's not cool. Alright, disclaimer over. Alright, so you might be wondering, right, what this is, right? You know, this is meant to be a review of Ugly Dolls, but for now, think of this as a bit of a prologue. A reasoning for why I'm even doing all this. So I was doing a funny thing I like to do. Search my favorite fictional characters on the internet and see what comes up. And I found this image. Now, as you can see, the image is by Cat Mario Core on DeviantArt. They're cool, I guess. So yeah. Now, overall, this image is pretty inoffensive. It just looks like some cringy artwork made by some little kid, right? And that's right. Now, I believe this. Now, upon looking on this image, it is the redesign of a character in the style of Ugly Dolls. So you know, the movie we're reviewing. So yeah, at the time when I had first found this image, I was like, oh, just some cringy artwork. But it did pique my interest. Now we cut to, like, I don't know, like a few days later or like a week later, and I'm just like hanging out, I'm chilling, I'm like looking for a movie to watch on Netflix, and lo and behold, I see Ugly Dolls, right? So I'm like, you know what? Let's see what this is. So I watch Ugly Dolls, and lo and behold, it is terrible. So yeah, then I decide that, you know what? I need to make a video about this, because there's, like, from what I can tell, 2 other reviews about Ugly Dolls that share the same sentiment. So yeah, this is the Ugly Dolls review. Ugly Dolls is a 3D animated film released on May 3rd, 2019 to generally unfavorable acclaim, right? So yeah, a lot of people think this movie is bad. So anyways, the movie opens with like a factory where we see a bunch of dolls getting mass produced. So yeah, Ugly Doll Industrial Revolution, basically. So then we see a bunch of defective dolls being sent down a shaft. Then we cut to Uglyville, where we meet our protagonist, Moxie, who wants to go to the human world, and then proceeds to sing about how great everything is in Uglyville. Basically, just an average day in Uglyville. Here we meet the rest of our main cast of characters. We meet Mayor Ox, who I will refer to as Springtrap for the rest of the video. Okay? We meet Ugly Dog. I swear to God, this is an actual character. Like, seriously, you could have named him literally anything, but you chose Ugly Dog. We meet Wage and Bobo. I want to say something about Bobo really quick. Fuck him. I hate Bobo with all my heart and soul. So we also see an ugly doll arrive from some, like, flower in the sky. This will be important later, but his name is Wedgehead. He does nothing. So after this, like, whole 20-minute song and dance, Moxie is sad because for what is essentially the 5th time in a row, has not been chosen to go to the human world. It doesn't take a detective to figure out why exactly. So Mayor Ox decides to send Lucky Bat, who did appear in the 20-minute song and dance, but the reason I'm talking about him just now was because they just now say his name, to go talk some sense into her. After this talk, which I'm pretty sure was meant to knock some sense into Moxie decides she should just go to the human world herself, and grabs the gang, and brings the gang and Bobo, but not Springtrap for some reason, and they go to the flower, which is actually the shaft from the start. So yeah, eventually they slide down some slides and reach the Institute of Perfection, which is where the actual dolls go. We also see these, like, creepy blank models. Like, seriously, who the fuck designed these things? Like, I could make, like, a whole other video on why these things shouldn't exist. Like, they act like regular characters, but they say nothing and they look absolutely uncanny. Like, who was at the Ugly Doll studio and was like, okay guys, trust me, this will be epic. But then they end up, like, walking into those machines and, actually getting personalities and stuff. So, yeah, no more Uncanny Valley blank dolls, hooray. That's cool. Then we meet Lou, who's the perfect doll, and proceeds to roast everyone in the near vicinity. guess what he does when he sees the ugly dolls? So after roasting the ugly dolls into oblivion, the rest of the gang decides, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe we should go. But then Moxie's like, no, we gotta prove Lou wrong. And then proceeds to inform Lou on the existence of Uglyville. This would be a big mistake, alright? Now, in order to prove Lou wrong, she decides to partake in this thing called the Gauntlet. What is the Gauntlet, you ask? The Gauntlet is basically a challenge that is essentially required in order for dolls to actually go to the real world. So yeah. So now we basically start a training montage. But before that can happen, Lou sends this girl named Mandy to send the ugly dolls to their house. Yeah, and during this, we learn that Mandy has glasses, but doesn't wear them because, I don't know, to look good or something. But then Moxie convinces her to wear them. Like, I don't know, man. I get the average lesson. So now we truly begin the training arc, and it's instead of it being a montage where, you know, they're like training and stuff, it's basically just Moxie and her friends getting messed up and thrown into the washing machine. What is the washing machine, you ask? Well, the washing machine is the ugly doll's equivalent of corporal punishment. Yeah, this is just insane. This is just insane. Like, alright. And then after this whole training montage, Lou's like, you'll never win the gauntlet, and you're never be pretty or anything. Or bullshit. And then Moxie decides it's time for a makeover. Yeah, that's right, a makeover. This has gone too far. Meanwhile, now during this whole thing, some spies, God knows who they're working for, go to Uglyville and kidnap Springtrap. That's right. My man's gets kidnapped. So then, Springtrap, the spies bring Springtrap to Lou. Shocker, I know. And then we just get a bombshell dropped on us. Turns out, Lou and Springtrap actually have history. Who knew, right? This was never referenced earlier. Seriously, this was never referenced earlier in the film. This is just a just now thing. This is like a recent development. So yeah, the movie can't get any weirder from here, can it? Like seriously, this movie is just god freaking weird. Anyways. So anyways, after this, we cut to the house, where we see Mandy finding the dolls after their horrible makeover. Like, seriously, this is an atrocity. This is an atrocity. Like, this is egregious. So, Mandy decides that she'll give the dolls a makeover herself. This would be a big mistake, alright? So, they then proceed to confront Lou. And Jesus Christ, they're ugly. Like, I know I said that their first attempt at a makeover was egregious, but this is a word beyond egregious, alright? This is an atrocity. This is a war crime. This is a war crime, alright? So, anyways, Lou is So, yeah, they even gave my boy Babo a bowl cut. Like, seriously, what the fuck? So upon confronting Lou, he talks about how the ugly dolls can't win the gauntlet. And the dolls don't believe him. So now my boy Lou sends out his trump card. He summons Springtrap. And the dolls are surprised that Springtrap is there, right? Now, this is the best scene in the entire movie, right? Not because of like any emotional weight. Not because like this movie is like emotional or like impactful or anything. No. This scene is just fucking absurd, right? You have the ugly dolls who are like... Right. So you have the ugly dolls in their atrocities of a cop. and their atrocities of costumes who are like, what? And then we got Springtrap who's like, I'm sorry, Moxie, I just wanted to protect you, or some stupid bullshit like that, right? And then you have Lou with his smug fucking face throughout the whole ordeal. Like, come on, man. Come on. You know? Like, dog. This is just villainous. This is just evil. Alright, so anyways, we then get a bunch of lore stuff. So basically, turns out Springtrap and Lou used to be good friends. They used to be chums, you know. They used to hang out in the, Springtrap used to be in the Institute of Perfection, but he got bullied and stuff. So Lou freaking exiled him, where Springtrap would discover a crusher where all the defective dolls were sent. So he created Uglyville as sort of a replacement for the crusher, so no dolls would ever have to meet the same fate. So yeah, I guess you could say this is a good backstory, but this is Ugly Dolls, so no, it's not good and it's garbage because it never gets referenced. Like, seriously. Why did they feel the need to put this in there? So anyways, this pretty much destroys the spirit of Moxie and the other dolls. Like, yeah, permanently. So they just decide to go home. And Lou's like, if you ever come back here again, I'll throw you into the incinerator. Yeah, Lou, threatening. That's a very good way to uphold your image. I'm sure this will all pan out by the end. If you didn't know already, Lou's the bad guy of this movie. So anyways, now we cut back. So now we cut back to Uglyville, and everything is basically depressed and stuff. Like, everything's sad. I guess you could say that this is the Ugly Doll equivalent of the Great Depression. I'm sorry, that was a bad joke. So, you know, so Moxie's just moping about, and then Mandy comes and is like, don't our differences make us better or something? And then they start singing about that stupid stuff. Like that. So anyways, so after they're done with the song and dance, suddenly we see the spies show up. The spies, that's right, the spies from before come back, and lo and behold, they just kidnap Moxie and Mandy. Like, seriously, that's a really good plan. Like, there was no reason to. Lou already won. Why does he feel the need to even do it? So anyways, after kidnapping someone again, so anyways, we then cut. So anyways, they're now in the sewer. So anyways, we cut to the shaft where we see Lou appear, and he's like, haha, Moxie, I win. The Ugly Dolls can never compete. And she proceeds to throw Moxie and Mandy into the fucking incinerator. Jesus Christ. But don't worry, guys, the incinerator isn't turned on. They're fine for now. So meanwhile, we cut to Ugly Doll, which is still depressing and shit, but now it's in full color. So I guess that's cool. So anyways, everyone's moping about being sad, but then they're like, oh crap, Moxie's gone. And eventually learn that she was kidnapped by Lou, and instantly know to to go check out the incinerator. So yeah. So anyway, we cut back to the incinerator, which has finally decided to wake up and destroy our heroes. So now it looks like it's the end for Moxie and Mandy, right? But then, lo and behold, the other Ugly Dolls come to their rescue. But there's two. There's not enough people. So the rest of the whole town and Wedgehead come back, and they're like, oh, don't worry, we'll help. But then, oh no, Bobble's about to die. Oh no, Bobble's about to die. What do we do? So Moxie somehow saves Bobble from his imminent demise. You had one job. So after this whole thing, Moxie's like, you know what, guys? We should go do the gauntlet. By all means necessary, and prove Lou wrong. So, lo and behold, what do you think they're gonna do now? Do you think they're gonna head back to Uglyville and decide that maybe it's not worth it? No. They're gonna go do the gauntlet. Screw it. They're gonna go do the gauntlet. So anyways, we cut to the gauntlet, which is just a giant dollhouse, where Lou is like hyping everyone. He's hyping everyone up. He's like, yeah, basically. He's like hyping everyone up. So yeah, then suddenly Mandy and the rest of the dolls come back, and then they all start like trash talking each other. They start like trash talking. So after that whole friendly banter, you know, average MMA banter, you know, the gauntlet begins, and and our heroes must face off against the most formidable of foes. This includes a robot dog, a vacuum cleaner, and a robot baby. So, you know, during this whole thing, Moxie and Lou end up in the evil grasp of the robot baby. So Lou decides in his infinite wisdom to kick the baby in the face. That's right, I'm not joking. Now YouTube, I do not condone Lou's actions in the slightest, alright? This is not okay, alright? I do not condone this at all. So Moxie is about to escape along with Lou and win the whole thing, but then decides to give the baby a hug because that's the right thing to do. And then she and the rest of the Ugly Dolls win because love and friendship is more important than victory or some bullshit. And then Lou ends up failing. So Lou gets really mad, right, and reveals that he's actually a prototype and not fit for public release. So he exiled Springtrap because he was jealous. So Lou decides to destroy the portal so no one can go to the real world. But then Springtrap proceeds to 1v1 him while they argue about some like stupid shit. Like Springtrap's like, "You were like a brother to me." But then Springtrap loses and then Lou breaks the portal. But before he can finish the job, Lucky throws him into the jaws of the robot dog, and then the dolls decide to send him to the washing machine. But oh no, the portal actually broke while they were talking and stuff. So now everyone's sad because no one can ever go to the human world, right? So things look bad. And then Moxie starts singing, and then they end up through the power of singing and friendship and teamwork, they end up repairing the portal. So yeah, then we cut to the Institute of Imperfection. Get it, guys? That's so funny. My parents don't talk to me anymore. Anyways, they talk about how great everything is now, and like how I don't know, being ugly is good, or like self-love or something like that. You know, pretty whole average messages for like any kid's cartoon ever, right? So yeah, and then the movie ends with Moxie and the gang walking into the portal, and Moxie hugs her kid. That's the end of Ugly Dolls. So anyways, that was Ugly Dolls, right? You know, just an average kid's film. Now you might be asking, Muffin Lord, why do you hate Ugly Dolls so much? And it doesn't, and it's just a meh movie, really. It's just meh. Like, it tries to be so many things all at once. Like, I swear, dude, I could barely sit through this movie the first time. So when I had to watch it again, yeah, that's right, I watched Ugly Dolls twice. Because I care about my viewers. You know, on the Muffin Lord channel, we care about our viewers, alright? So anyways, so yeah. I had to watch this twice, and it was boring AF, alright? I'll be honest. So yeah, the movie tries to be way too many things at once, alright? Like, it tries to be like an adventure movie, but then like a movie like where there's like this big overcoming, this like adventure movie to like prove, I assume Springtrap wrong. But then it becomes a movie where they're like training to go to the real world. Like, this movie just gets progressively weirder and weirder. Like, and there are people who genuinely like this movie. Like, if you were to go check out the reviews for Ugly Dolls right now, you would see people who give this movie like a 5 out of 5. If there was one thing positive I could say about this movie, I would say it looks good. But like, it looks good isn't a legitimate answer, alright? That's not even a legitimate answer. Like, if I have to say the only positive of a movie is that it looks good, that it looks appealing, that means you failed. That means you've failed on everything else, alright? And like, I know there'll be at least one Ugly Dolls fan in the comments, like, Cope, Ugly Dolls is just a kid's film, Cope, you mad, L plus ratio, so yeah, there'll be at least one guy in the comments, and I know it, who will be like, actually, Ugly Dolls is a kid's film, Cope, and again, to that I say, no, you Cope. Listen, movies are art. Everyone knows that, right? A movie is an expression of art. It's an art form. Even the worst pieces of art, they're still considered art, right? Like, that's like if I were to, let's say, make the worst piece of art in all of existence, right? And then someone criticizes me because it's horrible, and I just say, well, actually, it's just a piece of art, so you shouldn't be mad. Like, stop getting so heated. Like, that's not a very good thing to say, right? Same thing with movies. So yeah, in conclusion, Ugly Dolls is the worst movie ever, right? It's a violation. It's a violation of everything movies stand for and should be destroyed. All right? I'm not saying we should harass anyone who worked on Ugly Dolls. That's not cool. But I'm saying this. Every copy of Ugly Dolls in existence, any copy of the movie that is in circulation, destroy it. Buy it all. Hell, if this video does good, I'll buy a copy of Ugly Dolls just to destroy it, alright? That's how far I'm willing to go. And so anyways, yeah, in conclusion, Ugly Dolls bad. Go play Kirby Superstar. That's an actually good piece of media. And I guess, and shout out to Catmar. And before the Ugly Dolls fan base tells me, like, begins to, like, completely cyberbully me, I gotta say, don't blame me. Don't blame me. Blame Cat Mario, because if it weren't for him, if it wasn't for Cat Mario, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be reviewing this movie. So yeah. Anyways, like and subscribe. It'll be funny.